And now it's time for another edition of What Would Jello Do? And this edition is for you, the voters. And that means I think everybody should be voters. Granted, some people say, why bother when we get nothing but coin-operated cartoon characters for the, controlled by corporations for the big high offices. That's not the reason to vote. Local elections are where it's at. It matters who's mayor. It matters who's on city councils, aldermen, board of supervisors, whatever you call it, county commissioners, state legislatures, and of course nobody better than the religious right knows how important it is to have the right people on the school board. And so few people pay attention to local elections, in part because corporate McNews doesn't even cover them anymore, that hardly anybody votes, which means people like us have a better chance of actually getting in and brick by brick taking our society, country, planet, whatever you want to call it, back. And unlike Canada, European countries whose healthcare systems and whatnot we look up to, we almost alone have the ability to vote on referendums, ballot initiatives, measures, propositions, yes or no on rent control, medical marijuana, should we use this land for a golf course or housing for the homeless. I quit voting for a while too. I was so sick of what I felt was a lack of choice, but Frank Zappa, among other people, got me back into it, pointing out where voting really does matter. And I quickly discovered the joy of voting down sports stadiums and winning again and again and again. Goodbye, 49ers. Good riddance. At least you'll wreck some other town now. Anyway, so I believe in insurrection in the street, insurrection in the voting booth, as well as insurrection with how we spend our money and what corporate creditors we choose not to give it to. And you don't get real change without all three working with each other at once. So occupy the voting booth too and show up, pay attention to those ballot initiatives, and vote smart. And this means I don't vote anarchy. I don't consider myself a pure anarchist, let alone a libertarian or anything. With voting, I vote on what makes sense to me, issue by issue. I even had to vote the other way once on a ballot initiative in San Francisco to ban guns. Sure, I'm not into the Second Amendment either, but the toothpaste is out of the tube, the city's broke. Why waste hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to uphold a law that the court is going to throw out, which they did for the second time in 15 years we tried to make these laws. Maybe I'm closer to socialist in some ways because Tim Yohannan was the Maximum Rock and Roll founder, was one who pointed out to me that we do need an entity like, yes, people, a government, to transfer the wealth from people who have too much to the people who don't have enough. Hello, 99%, 1%. So then people come back to me, and I've talked to people in Occupy about this too. Well, why vote? I take pride in not voting. And I had my heart broken voting for hope and change and getting Barack Obama instead. What do we vote for? Who do we vote for? Well, forget the top-down thing that all that matters is the president, and you vote on who you can best stomach seeing on TV night after night for the next 4 years, or who is best disguises what an asshole they are. No. People to vote for aren't necessarily coin-operated Democrats or coin-operated Republicans. Therefore, that is why I continue to be registered with the Green Party. And I can't find my t-shirt from the New Mexico Greens, looks so cool. So you get a coffee cup instead from the Green Party in Tennessee, okay? Be green, do green, vote green, and we don't mean Wall Street green, we mean 99% clean up our planet, clean up the election system green. That's why. And even if you're a little weird about joining a third party or feel like the Greens don't have their act together because they're not in the news all the time, we keep winning local offices, and wouldn't you rather vote for something you want and not get it than vote for something you don't want and get it? Either way, you must register to vote in order to do these things. The deadline in the state of California is May 21st. And the goal with the Greens, as in all states, and yes, there's one in Tennessee, Mississippi too, is to, believe it or not, become the 1%. In this case, 1% means if 1% of people vote green and are registered green, more importantly, yes, registered green, it means that there's a party line on the ballot for a Green Party candidate for every office, possibly even you. And the reason to run candidates like this is to bring new ideas and important things into the debate when all the corporate McNews clowns want to talk about is whether we should go back to contraceptions or make war on Iran or how much of a tax break should Wall Street really get in case it tinkles down to the rest of us. So again, this is part of taking things back and occupying our system. Register, vote, show up, pay attention to the local issues. Because after all, I would rather work or vote for something I want and not get it than work or vote on something I don't want and get it. And I ain't going down with the Obama Titanic and corporate-controlled Democrats wrecking the economy along with everybody else. Are you?